fault at all. It's just a matter of whether she can come back in distance from the Coolmore from the outside draw. So leading jockey on board, McDonald, will leave it to him, but she's sure to be strong late.
And number 12, Petite's Faloo for Kieran Maher and Damien Oliver.
Well, here she is. She's a pocket rocket. She's certainly got some style and dash about her. She's got some big margin wins about her.
It's in a hurry. It's still 5-8 in a photo there after the 3rd and 9 is prominent for that 3rd position. A quick break ahead of the Arrowfield 3-year-old sprint next on day 2 of the championships.
Last 10 minutes. Lake Geneva is 100-1 chance here for the Arrowfield 3-year-old sprint. Japanisma will be favourite as it has been all week.
Well, Ronnie, they call the championships.
I can't say this enough. I love this race. Anything goes. I know, Japanisma on facts and figures picks himself, but there's a lot of variables in this.
Japanisma is the favourite, and they're off and racing, and Gasoni from the outside draws, jumped about midfield. Petite Faloo won the start. Takedown and King Like are showing plenty of speed, and Spill the Beans is mustering to join them. Bassett Park's just behind from Egyptian Symbol, then came further back to Hellbent on the rails. Stellar Collision deeper out from Spieth, counter-attack. McDonald's gone back to second last on Gasoni, and 3 lengths away to Lake Geneva. King Like takes up the running from Takedown, and Petite Faloo caught 3 deep on the outside of Japanisma and Spill the Beans. A length and a half further back to Bassett around Egyptian Symbol. Counter-attack deeper out from Hellbent, then Stellar Collision from Spieth. Gasoni's back towards the inside running rail, one off it as they turn. King Like in front from Takedown, Japanisma. Bowman rides very confidently from Egyptian Symbol. Spill the Beans, wider out Petite Faloo, and then Hellbent making ground on the rails. Japanisma being called upon now. It goes up to join King Like. Counter-attacks running on. Gasoni's looking for the run behind them. Japanisma just in front from counter-attack. Japanisma from counter-attack. Japanisma's clinging on. Oh, he switched legs right on the post. I think he got in Japanisma, but counter-attack took advantage and lunged. King Like possibly 3rd from Takedown, and poor Gasoni couldn't get out of a pocket. Then Egyptian Symbol, Spill the Beans, Spieth, Lake Geneva, Stellar Collision, Bassett, Hellbent, Petite Faloo's covered ground and finished last. It's a photo finish.
Well, Chris Waller's going to train the Quinella here in the Arrowfield sprint. The 3-year-old Group 2 on. Counter-attack lunges is going to miss, is it? Yes. Japanisma inside, a nose. Japanisma beats counter-attack and takedown. Who's that?
3 or 4 starts, so you would have come out here today with a lot of confidence.
I was confident in him. I think he's a better horse.
A great chance.
Yes, she is. And
his last run in the William Reid, well, give him a barrier and he may have won, but yeah.
He's a super little...
The post, I think he got in Japanisma, but counter-attack.
Yes, it was a Chris Waller Quinella Japanisme, $3.20 favourite, defeating Counter-Attack. He's not far from winning a big sprint Counter-Attack in that countdown, but SD, I think the unlucky runner finished 4th.
I think I'm turning Japanisme. I really think so, with the punters saying. I'll tell you what, he just fell in. He's been up for a little while. Great training performance there by Chris Waller. But have a look at this for a ding-dong battle. Hugh Bowman, Japanisme. You've got Karen McAvoy, King Like to the left of screen. Craig Williams to the black and white on counter-attack on the outside. Brett Preble on takedown in the orange. And J-Mac just sitting in behind them, skiing on Gasoni, just had nowhere to go. But this was tight riding. You can see J-Mac trying to get a little bit of a sniff outside of the pink colours of Japanisme there. But counter-attack Craig Williams puts the filly back in a pocket. Brett Preble, look at him in the orange, pumping that Hong Kong action, throwing the kitcher and sink at him. And Karen McAvoy and King Like, he looked fantastic in the yard there, King Like.
He was the one who caught the eye, King Like, I reckon. Off the back of a flat run at the Valley. Moody always thought he had Group 1 ability.
He was injured there, wasn't he?
He was good. He was good, King Like.
Yeah, watch Japanisme there just change stride and go, I've got nothing left. That was it. Peaked on the line terrifically well. But this is where I think Hugh...
The progress is for Petite Faloo going on from that event, but one horse, I'd imagine.
Yeah, Petite Faloo not being able to go right-handed, that was the explanation for that. Now, Kirama was actually...
I mean, if great Japanisme got in on the weight scale here, you know, he would have given the others a lot in a handicap, and he didn't have to, and he's a very good sprinter, but, oh dear, the filly in the blue colours, Gasoni. He only had to be able to release the brakes on her, and she would have just run straight past them.
Yeah, it was a sad tale for her supporters, wasn't it? But look, this horse does not get the credit he deserves. He's a gelding and he's just chipped away and won all these races. I reckon this is a terrific race.
They did walk home in it.
I don't care what they
I know you
home.
don't.
You're allowed to go a little bit harder early and walk home. Just because they don't sprint home in 33 doesn't mean it's a good race.
Well, anyway. OK, I'm not arguing with you.
Look at the form of these horses in this race.
I know, they're good horses, but I just think one filly should have won it by about 3. So
That's
I think
all right. I'm not saying she's not an outstanding filly.
Well, I think she is very good. She's the best-looking filly on the racecourse every time she turns up.
Yeah. No, she's a beauty. Look, one more stride counter-attack. He really appreciated those blinkers back on in the jar out of the track yesterday. Look, there was other great runs in the race. King-like is an underrated horse. Like we said, Takedown's going enormous. And Jasoni, well, I'm just having a quick chat to John. I think I would have thought maybe a Stradbroke or something may suit her down in the weights, but I think they're thinking go to Hawkesbury and then look after her for the spring.
The James Bogue Australian Oaks here, our first Group 1 of day 2, and there's plenty to look at here, boys.
Yeah, there certainly is. I'm still waiting for little Sophia Rosa, my little favourite, to walk in the yard. She looked like a foal in the spring. I'm not expecting her to double her size or anything, because she's a little ugly duckling, so when she walks in...
Favourite at 3.20, Sophia Rosa, and Happy Hannah share the second line at 6. Here's the Gold Coast.
Got a really, really good field here.
Big crowd in attendance as they get set for the first Group 1 of the day. And in the first Group 1 of the day, what is the mark?
Greg, when in doubt, look at the bloke that rides most of the winners, Huey Bowman. Sophia Rosa here, into $5 now. She might have been playing up, as you said there, but it hasn't stopped the punters wanting to be honest. So $8 into $5 today. Huey Bowman now leads the Jockey of the Championships on 11 points.
Bit restless in the stalls. She settles better now. Good line, racing. And Capella's taken back at the start. No pace by Alaskan Rose. Self-Esteem, Valley Girl, Hanesta have all jumped well together with Ambience, Believe, Shabu. The favourite Jamaica's being snagged back to last. Posing up midfield is Sacred Eye on the fence. Severe Rosa's finding a spot in front of Happy Hannah. Then came Alaskan Rose. Single Gaze caught deep out of the straight. The favourite Jamaica's back second last, and Capella's the last one. Valley Girl first to find the rails, but Self-Esteem's going to Heckett and Keen, and Capella is the last one. They run past the mile, and Self-Esteem is running along. Mark Zara lets her go. She's 4 lengths clear from Valley Girl. Believe goes into a clear third, followed by Hanesta. Ambience hugging the rails. 2 further back to Diamond Maid on the outside of Shabu. Then Sophia Rosa in the second half of the field. Sacred Eye back on the fence on the inside of Happy Hannah. Then Single Gaze from Alaskan Rose, Jamaica. I think Oliver takes off now, working down the back. He's getting a little bit closer in any case on Jamaica. And Capella is still back last. It's Self-Esteem coming back to the field at the 1,000-metre mark. A length clear from Believe in second. Valley Girl third. Then came Hanesta. Further back to Ambience. Sophia Rosa taking closer order. Then Diamond Maid from Happy Hannah, Shabu. Jamaica still back 4th last from Sacred Eye. And Capella is back last of all down the side of the track. And it's Self-Esteem in front from Valley Girl and Believe. Then Hanesta, Ambience, Sophia Rosa, Diamond Maid, Shabu the inside. Shin gets going now on Happy Hannah. She's picking up at the 600 metres. Jamaica getting onto her back from Single Gaze. Then Sacred Eye from Alaskan Rose, and Capella is the last one. Around the turn, Valley Girl goes up on the inside of Self-Esteem. Valley Girl hugging the fence. Single Gaze has fallen back in the field. Believe going to third, followed then by Ambience, Sophia Rosa. Then came Shabu. Jamaica gives them a big start. It's Valley Girl, Self-Esteem, Believe. Sophia Rosa's lifting. Ambience for the last shot of them. Jamaica is trying. Sophia Rose hits the lead. Sophia Rose in front from Believe and Ambience, and Sophia Rose takes out the Australian Oaks. She beat Ambience and Believe, followed by Jamaica. Then Shabu, Capella late. Valley Girl couldn't pick up on the fence. Then Sacred Eye, Hanesta, Self-Esteem, Alaskan Rose, Diamond Maid, Happy Hannah sprint. She found bother on the home turn when Single Gaze fell, and Kathy O'Hara's down on the track.
OK, our thoughts are with Kathy at the moment. We're trying to get you an update. Hopefully she gets to her feet in a moment. She's had a heavy tumble on Single Gaze on the home turn. Sophia Rosa. Sophia Sophia Rosa has won the Oaks. The Kiwi filly that Ron Duffsey described as a foal when she walked into the mounting yard when we saw her in Sydney back in the spring. How could she go on and take on these big, robust fillies? Well, she's gone home and she's come back and she's won an Oaks.
What a heart she's got, and she did it covering ground 3. I'll say I've ridden some difficult horses in my time. This one takes the cake.
Is that right? What does she do?
She's just so temperamental. She went out on the track early, and then she just hasn't given me a minute's peace since I got on her.
She's busy.
And even when I went for her, you can see her, she dealt bored in, and then I straightened her. And I'll tell you what she has got. She's got some fight, and I'm just so happy for Lib, the owner, because I cost him an Oaks here a couple of years ago on Lucia Valentina, and
Of course, you have the wonderful Lucia. Well, Lib, congratulations. Of course, you have the wonderful Lucia Valentina and Sophia.
She was heavily backed yesterday, Sophia Rosa, and they knew what they were doing. Huey Bowman, 4 wins on the day. As you mentioned earlier, SD, that was a beautiful ride, ambience and belief. And, Ollie, we touched on Jamaica a little earlier. At the end of the day, do you think she was stiff?
Well, I mean, you can look at it either way. We'll never know if she had gone forward, how she would have gone. That was the pre-race plan. We were going to go forward, but she just didn't begin that well. I think maybe it was a case of her from backing up from last week that she just didn't show the same brilliance. I was sitting on the winner's back coming into the turn, but it just accelerated better than me, and I felt that she was just a bit too good on the day. I still thought we had our chance, but you know, we just got a little bit thwarted by the white gate.
Ollie, before we let you...
So, they took the New Zealand Oaks offer on protest, but she gets an Oaks back here, and there she is drawn out.
And Believe, followed by Jamaica.
OK, before we talk about this race, the incident on the home turn where Single Gaze came down, Single Gaze got up and Single Gaze was fine. Kathy O'Hara, there were many concerns for her. We were getting a few different bits of information to us back down at the winning post, but eventually, Richard, we found out she suffered a broken collarbone, broken ribs, a collapsed lung.
Yeah.
Very lucky girl, very lucky.
She was out cold when she hit the track, knocked her out, and she was concussed. And
till I got off her.
Yeah.
So she's all energy and go,
yeah,
but very, very
She's a naughty girl.
How tough is that filly? She had the worst fall I ever seen on Boxing Day in New Zealand. She hit the ground with a thud, and she's bounced back up, and real tough. And I reckon it's Lucia Valentina fell in that same race.
It was the same day. She actually ran against the Colts.
Okay.
It was the same race 2 years before. She fell.
Owners.
I was watching the race, knowing she was coming to me after the race, and I'm watching it, and she rolled for about 20 metres. And I said, oh, well, that's the end of her.
That's incredible how
and she backed
two
up.
horses like
they
that.
both backed up on New Year's Day. Lucia Valentina just got beat, but Sophia Rosa won. It's just ironic, on the same day, then here they are.
Tough.
Winning.
No. Season, they find it difficult.
Capella out wide in the white colour. She stood in the barrier and she was good late. She should have been closer in the run. And the Alaskan Rose just behind them there was a lot better run than it looks on paper as well. So, but, geez, it's hard to say anything was any excuses outside the winner there. What she did and to dig in when I'd give up on the point of the turn. I thought she was the first one off the bit. And to think that she still lifted over the line. Just got a few little traits that they've got to iron out, that's all.
The yard for the Sydney Cup, and still no further news to
the barman in this race last year. I thought there's a pretty fair chance that could be repeated here today. Libran's been absolutely flying. He'd be certainly a deserved.
That's like a carousel on screen there. Just repeating that earlier news. Kathy O'Hara had a tumble on.
Before we get your final thoughts,
Sydney Cup for 2016, and they're off and racing. Galante, the outside, left pretty quickly. Ouvre a little bit handier today. Cafe Society settled third. Libran's pretty handy to the speed and the early fart, followed by DIC, like a carousel, the outside, then Destiny's Kiss. Bayanova in the yellow blinkers, parks behind the body of the field. A length further back to Grand Marshal. Our Moonquist taken back, and Who Shot the Barman is the last one. So Galante makes the running here. Kira McAvoy goes goes forward. Shot the Barman, and 2 lengths last of all is our Moonquith. They've got 1,200 metres to run now. Galante trying to make all in the Sydney Cup. Leads out by 3/4 to Like a Carousel. Ouvre railing to a clear third from DIC, then Cafe Society. Destiny's Kiss, Libran, Grand Marshal. He can make decisions from there. McDonald to the inside or the outside. Who Shot the Barman goes up right at his quarters now down the side of the course from our Moonquith, and the Melbourne mare Bayanova's dropping right out of the hunt. Down the side, Galante in front. DIC goes to a clear second. Like a Carousel under immense pressure. Then Ouvre from Cafe Society, Libran. Who Shot the Barman to the outside from Destiny's Kiss. Grand Marshal snookered for a run, and then came our Moonquith as the field really bunches up in the corner, and Galante still leads from Libran going to a clear second from Cafe Society. Who Shot the Barman to the outside, and Grand Marshal trying to go with him. Galante in front from Libran. Grand Marshal running on strongly together with Who Shot the Barman. Galante's not done with. Libran tries, so does Grand Marshal. Who Shot the Barman can't win. Galante in front from Libran and Grand Marshal. Galante still in front. He's got Libran beaten, then Grand Marshal, and Galante's going to lead all the way for Kieran McAvoy. Takes out the Sydney Cup by a length to Libran. Grand Marshal third, Who Shot the Barman fourth, followed by our Moonquith, who couldn't pick up on the rails from Like a Carousel, Destiny's Kiss, Cafe Society, DIC, and the other two flat out on their feet, the French import Ouvre and Bayanova.
Well, Lloyd Williams adds another cup. He is really the Cup's king. That's his 4th Sydney Cup. He's won 4 Melbourne Cups. I think he's won 3 Adelaide Cups as an owner. And here's Galante going all the way in the Sydney Cup. Libran running second, Grand Marshal third. But Lloyd Williams has spoiled the Waller party.
And they read the play so well. They don't only bring the right horses to these sort of carnivals. They get their tactics right. They study these races. They know.
I'll go out now and I'll be back for a big day for Lloyd. He's at the United States and Galante here today, and he's already got a Group 1.
Yeah, wise.
It was a lovely front-running ride by Kieran McAvoy there. Galante, $10. The European that he'd brought out, he'd taken some time to find his form, but he was building up to that run. And Simon, he was able to wear down the Waller Army, Libran, Grand Marshal, and Who Shot the Barman.
Well, to Team Williams and trainer Robert Hickmont, what a fantastic job you've done with this guy, Galante. He got beaten a handicap at Pakenham on the 15th of October last spring, would you believe it? And there he is. What a beautiful front-running ride by Kieran McAvoy. 51.5 kilos, lovely tempo. Not at one stage did he back the tempo off and it was a crawling affair. He let this horse breathe beautifully throughout into a nice rhythm. When a horse has got its ears pricked and it's leading all the way, it's saving its energy and reserve energies. And when he got over that little speed hump, as we call the rise there at Randwick, he kicked off the bend, had Libram off the bend. Grand Marshal could not reel him in. He's just wanting to get in on one rein there. I think the conditions really suited and played into his hands yesterday, Grand Marshal, but take nothing away from this winner. He was awesome there yesterday, and it was quite significant.
Who Shot the Barman fourth?
Well, he was always in control, wasn't he? I wasn't real comfortable with a few of the tactics and of the favourites there. I think they were too negative, the Waller trio, to tell the truth. Where this horse, he just said, look, I'll take this race by the scruff of the neck. I'll relax. I'll prick the ears, as Richard says, and away he goes. We know he's a strong stayer. We know he loves it wet. And you knew he was fancied because he was the horse they just chipped away at. Money speaks all languages.
Europeans, when they get in that rolling rhythm, they're very hard to run down.
And Kieran McAvoy's experience in Europe would have helped there. You know, that a Libran in the end. No, third to him. But they're just a little classier.
Lloyd Williams, he loves the 2 milers. He's won 4 Sydney Cups. He's won 4 Melbourne Cups. He's won 3 Adelaide Cups. He loves the stayers. He wants to win Melbourne Cups, but if a Sydney Cup comes along, he'll take that too.
I think it's a credit to them because he supported staying races when no one else wanted to. And now everybody wants to be a part of it, and it's made it tougher, but he's still winning them.
It's $2 million now. That's worth setting.
Before Ronnie Duff, as he has a look at these runners in the parade ring.
Well, Greg, first horse back on track here, Vergara, 31 into 21. We were 35 this morning. We're still a $26 chance. But Ascadelia, the favourite here, $3.20, has been that price based basically, in fact, has been that price all day since first markets went back up. Zanbar, the second pick at 8, batter $2.90 now with tab.com.au. On course has been $3.40 into $3. Well, today, as
racing, pretty good line out overall. Bardaweir's jumped away well off the outside, but Vergara's using the rails to lead from Bardaweir. Zambar was quickly into stride. Coronation Shallon's there, and Suavito's going forward from the wide draw. Then Noble Protector back on the fence. Miss Rose DeLoco beaten for speed. Then Risque the track. Further back to Heavens Above. As Cadelia's back, fourth last from Artistry. Then Pasadena Girl and Slightly Sweet whips them in. Abdullah allows Vergara to slip. A couple in front coming to the home turn. Newitt still sitting quietly on Bardaweir in second. And once again, she's starting to close the margin on the leader. Then came Noble Protector from Suavito. Zambar pulling out. Coronation Shallon to the outside. Then Casino Dancer. And Ascadelia is giving them a start on the rails, but she is making headway. Vergara in front. Bardaweir under the whip from Noble Protector. And here comes Ascadelia. Hard along the rails. She's picking up strongly. Ascadelia hits the lead. Heavens Above out of the pack giving chase. Ascadelia's dashed in front. Heavens Above can't pick up the leeway. And Ascadelia, great ride by Damien Oliver. She takes out the Group 1 by 2 lengths to Heavens Above. Noble Protector third. Lady Lafay fourth. Then Zambar from Vergara. Further back, Miss Rose DeLago, Artistry, Suavito, Slightly Sweet, Bardaweir, Casino Dancer, Risque, Pasadena Girl, and Coronation Shallon was last.
Well, after many placings in Group 1s, Ascadelia goes to the top of the class today. A Group 1 in the Coolmore legacy for this brilliant mare. No winks today, it's all Ascadelia.
Yeah, that was the form, wasn't it? She looked a bit over when they sprinted and they got the...
I guess that's something you never get sick of.
Certainly don't, Bernie. She's a little ripper, this one. Never die, never get sick of riding these ones. And as you said to me pulling up, I think when she straightened up, she was pretty happy not to see Winks in front of her. And she quickened really good, and she loves that ground.
Sounds like...
Well, I reckon for some horses it might be hard to pick up after battling Winks a week ago, but she's done it.
Yeah, maybe the step back in company brought her on, but she thrived. Lucy has done a great job with them up here.
Knocking on the door.
Yeah, well, the plan was always the Doncaster and to slide her in on the minimum weight, and I was hoping that we'd get a heavy 10, but she ran as good as what she could hope for, and she thrived and backed up well, and it was just great to get the win.
It's the type of horse you could train on to a depending on the weight. What price now in the Stradbroke?
Well, $4.50, Greg. $4.50 equal favourite with Malaguera. We saw Malaguera at Rose Hill, of course. They actually haven't taken noms from the Stradbroke at the moment. We're just...
She's always promised that type of performance, and well done to Kieran Maher, because she backed up 7 days in a row, which she did in the spring, and she seemed to springboard off that after her placing in the Doncaster. That was just a simply stunning win. Ollie, that looked like it was a premeditated ride from you earlier on in the race. You had her out last. Were you always thinking, I'm going to try and come up the rails here?
Not necessarily. Excuse me, but I had a couple of good horses in front of you, which is always important in a race. You want to be following something that's going to take you somewhere, and so there was only 2 or 3 in front of me. I could see them opening up a fair way out, and this mare's got a great turn of foot if you hold her up, and the key is she handles the ground so well, so she had a couple of big pluses on her side there yesterday, and it was good to see her rewarded with a big win.
Funny how it was a tale of 2 tracks 7 days apart, Damien, wasn't it? Like a bit of a no-go zone up the inside in the Doncaster, but she still ran well. But with the rail out yesterday, different story, wasn't it? With in a much better passageway to come up the inside. Same sort of ride, same sort of situation, but a way different scenario with the track.
Yeah, it was a little bit different there yesterday. The rail out 6 metres, so we're on pretty much fresh ground there. But Bossy gave her a great ride last week. You certainly can complain there, and that was probably it held her in good stead for this week, because she did.
Yes, fourth last early as Cadelia, and that was always their intention to ride her back, and that's the way she likes to race. But I want to show you something. We're looking at the head-on here, and you'll see her there in the white colours. She gets that beautiful split up along the fence, and Damien by that time had figured out there wasn't much difference across the profile of the track, so might as well take the shortest way home, and he did that. But the second filly, Heavens Above, second mare, if we can go back just before the corner on the side-on shot, you'll see that Heavens Above is actually in front of Ascadelia. And Ty Anglin on Heavens Above goes to play percentages, which is absolutely the right thing to do, and moved away from the fence to try and find a run, which basically presented the run to Damien Oliver on Ascadelia. But you can't criticise. This is just the difference between a Group 1 class mare and a horse that's going to get probably to that level at some stage. If you look at them here, the yellow is Heavens Above, the white is Ascadelia back on the fence there. Ty comes away from the fence on Heavens Above, finds the run. They're about together there. Now, this is the difference between a Group 1 horse. Look at one sprint and the other one just take enough time to wind up to let Ascadelia get away. Now, she finished off really well, Heavens Above, but it was just that turn of foot as they straightened up and the difference in class, and those weight scales did suit Ascadelia. I mean, you wait for age here. If it was a handicap, she'd have been giving Heavens Above kilos and kilos in weight, and that's just the difference between the two horses.
Yeah, look, you've got to concede that Heavens Above was back from 1900 as well, so she doesn't have that sprinting edge on her.
Quite right, yeah.
I must say, Heavens Above has done amazing things.
She's been consistent.
Oh, fantastic.
All through.
She's just had to do her form.
Thinking a bigger crowd than we got last Saturday for day one of the championships. Well, he got the money last year in the Queen Elizabeth Criterion. Caroline is now speaking to his...
Very excited and a bit nervous. He's having 50,000 on preferment in the Longines Queen Elizabeth.
Well, and I'll tell you what, our customers are undefeated. Last year, Criterion. Last week, Winks. This week, it is Preferment.
Hill last time, it's definitely a winning chance, but I'm with Hugh Bowman here on Preferment, looking for 3 straight Group 1s. He'll put this in the right position, and he's going to look the winner at some stage of the straight, I feel.
Got about $13 about it this morning, Happy Clapper. It's now an $8 chance. On track 9 out to 10 into 8. Well, we only see...
Inside gate, Happy Clapper. Brenton Abdullah just in an awkward position at the moment. Elizabeth Stakes, and we're set. And they're racing, and Happy Clapper off the inside, jumped as well as anything. Criterion smartly out. So's Rising Romance, Lee Baz and Preferments right up with the leaders as well. Happy Trails, Mongolian Khan next, and Mongolian Khan is quickly improving. Followed by It Somewhat, caught a bit deep. Awesome Rock is right off the track. Haraki's looking to find a spot, going to midfield and better. Then the United States, Happy Trails drifts back from Fenway. Dibiani snagged back, and Lucia Valentina is going to sit back at the rear of the field. Awesome Rock presses on from the outside, and it heads off Lee Baz, and It Somewhat goes to third. Rising Romance fourth, half the outside Mongolian Khan. Haraki's got into a good position on the outside of Criterion and Preferment. Then Happy Clapper in the second half of the field. From the United States, Happy Trails, well back is Dibiani and Lucia Valentina with Fenway of the last couple. Awesome Rock runs into the far corner, a length clear from Lee Baz in second. Then Rising Romance, It's Somewhat fourth, one out, one back. Then Mongolian Khan, can he bounce back today? Haraki the outside, last year's winner Criterion, midfield the fence. On the inside of Preferment, who's inching closer down the side of the course. Further back to the United States, Happy Clapper well back. Fenway starts her run wide out on the course, together with the United States. Dibiani back second last, and Lucia Valentina's last of all. Coming up to the home turn, Awesome Rock just leads from Lee Baz as they really turn it on coming to the turn. Then Mongolian Khan joining them with It Somewhat. Further back then to Haraki. Preferment being shoved along, and Criterion riding for luck on the fence into the straight. It Somewhat's going after Awesome Rock. Further back to Happy Clapper looking for the run. Criterion scraping paint. Haraki runs on. Preferment leads a run desperately. Rising Romance in front. Here comes Lucia Valentina like a shot out of a gun. The mare races to the lead. The United States giving chase. Then Happy Clapper, but Lucia Valentina, what a slashing win in the Queen Elizabeth. The United States second, Happy Clapper third. Then Rising Romance, Happy Trails, Mongolian Khan, It's Somewhat, Haraki. Then Fenway, Dibiani, Preferment, Criterion. Lee Baz was last. What a performance.
Well, she has done it, Lucia Valentina. What a big day for Lib Pentagna, who is the owner of Sophia Rosa, and Lucia Valentina is an owner. He's won the Oaks and the Queen Elizabeth. She was in an awful spot coming to the home turn, but look at that acceleration to win the better part of $4 million.
What a training performance. The
He realised the mare's no good second up. He says, I've got a plan and it's going to work this plan. And the boy from Newcastle, Chris Lees, what a day out, and what a day out for these owners and everyone concerned.
$10 Queen Elizabeth Stakes. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm on cloud nine, man. That's amazing. She couldn't go with him at all early, but if you just leave her alone, this mare, she'll reward you late. And come to the turn, I had a lot of horse and not much room to go anywhere. And I went up in between a couple as we straightened, and I got shut out of that. I thought, oh, it's going to be good. She's going to have to be great to come back from this. She picked herself up again and just went whoosh.
I know.
She just got in really good order. I'd be surprised she didn't run well. Probably didn't expect her to go that good, to be fair.
Now, a second-up record is horrible, but you said about changing that today.
Yeah, well, Ronnie hit it on the head. She was going straight to 2,000 metres for pet distance. She had 4 weeks between runs, and I had no doubt about her being effective second up.
And what about in the...
Sat on her nose. She'd done that once before in the tramway and picked herself back up, and she was really effective late. She's got that wonderful turn of foot when allowed to do that.
And even at this stage of a career...
Over the final stages, and it was a great training effort by Chris Lees. We know his father, Max, was a great trainer as well, and it was probably an unorthodox preparation, second up into the $4 million Queen Elizabeth after coming back from the Hong Kong campaign, but gee, she absolutely obliterated them.
Well, she loves the juice out of the track. She got that. You know, she's a Turnbull Group 1 winner. As we look at the replay, Ollie, let's go to you, mate. From the top of the straight, you had Happy Trails. You were sneaking up outside of his hindquarters, and also the United States. Things got a bit tight. What happened?
Yeah, just at the top of the straight, I had a lot of horse underneath me, and I was there was a narrow gap, and I went for it. I could see United States shifting out, and I went for that run, and then there was also a bit of a shift from the inside, so that sort of closed on me, and for her to recover from that was just an extraordinary effort. And look, I rode this mare in Hong Kong back in December in the International Cup, and she finished 5th behind some great Japanese horses, and she gave me a feel that day on firm ground that that she would have won a lot of Group 1 races on that day, and I think I got a few funny looks that day, but getting her back there today, yesterday on that soft ground, which she really loves, just really showed how good she is on that sort of ground. I think, if you compare horses in the autumn in Sydney to Melbourne, it's so different because the ground you get is it's so contrasting. They're just different type of horses that are suited to that sort of softish ground, particularly at Randwick, where you do get that softer ground, where at Rosehill we haven't had that, but in Melbourne so often not. The tracks are so dry and so good that, yeah, they're just different type of horses. So
McKinnon Stakes to also be on the agenda of the Beaten Brigade. Nick Williams spoke to him after the race re the United States, and he said as soon as he knew Lucia saw her in the yard, he knew she was the horse to beat, so wasn't surprised they had to play second fiddle to her, but well worth the trip, paying up the extra money. Picked up $750,000. He goes for a spell to be set for the Cox Plate. Also the plan for Happy Clapper, that's the long-term aim. David Hayes' spell will be set for the Epsom, Criterion to be retired. Also the case with Mongolian Khan, who just hasn't come up this time. Murray Baker said he's perfectly healthy, but he's just not racing in the same vein that we saw in springtime.
She's certainly not the best away, and she was in an awful spot coming towards the home turn, Duff, and it was always going to be a bit of a worry whether she was going to get the right run through.
At this stage, I wanted her to relax, but she overdid it a little bit.
She was comatose.
I thought she was going to pull out of the race. She just knew that it was 2,000 metres. She's conserving energy back in the field. She's still a little bit worried here. And
further back to Happy Clapper, looking for the run. Criterion scraping paint. Haraki runs on. Preferment leads a run desperately. Rising Romance in front. Here comes Lucia Valentina like a shot out of a gun. The mare races to the lead. The United States giving chase. Then Happy Clapper, but Lucia Valentina. What a slashing win in the Queen Elizabeth. The United States second. Happy Clapper third. Then Rising Romance. Happy Trail.
Amazing. Well, there's so much to talk about, not only this last little bit, but what about what happened on the home turn? Let's just go back and have a look at that.
That's incredible. She went down. Look, she just grabbed the bit approaching the turn. You think, wow, this mare's going to really be in this finish, and then all of a sudden it all turned nasty, and she went down. Like, she clipped heels and knuckled over, and for her to, and then she had to squeeze through that little gap down the straight. Just an incredible performance to beat up a field like that, like a $1.50 chance if you're repricing the race.
Quite right.
It was an amazing achievement.
Look, there was form that was franked by Ascadelia as well.
What about Happy Clapper? He's earned nearly $1 million in 2 runs without winning.
Yeah, I know. It's been a great campaign for him. Dwell too much away from her. I looked at a form, 5 runs second up, not one placing. Today, or yesterday, wins the biggest race of her life second up. Is there a reason why she hasn't won second up before?
Yeah, well, she's always had other target races, Richard, and I think his second up run's always been 2 weeks at a mile. Every jockey comes in and said she's ready for 2,000 metres now. And I think if you watch the runs, they weren't bad runs. They were often in weight for age races with no tempo. She's really strong late and after the line. So that was our reasoning for getting it to 2,000 metres rather than just giving a run in between. So she had that trial at home, and I think that topped her off nicely.
Just on when she did dip on the home turn, what happened to her?
She took a noticeable bit of skin off her shin, so she knew she'd been to the races.
There was thoughts
on for another season, so I'm very grateful. Look, she's a valuable brood mare, but you can't put a price on winning big races, and Lib and Bruce got a tremendous thrill yesterday, obviously with the double that they had, but they really enjoy their racing, and I'm grateful they're going to give her another season.
So would you go the same tact? Would you say, OK, let's hope for a bit of jar out of the track on Cox Plate Day and run a second up in that?
We've certainly got to consider that way, Ron. Obviously this time she'll have a longer break, so that's something we'll just have to weigh up as we get closer and decide which way we go with her.
Just on that...
a day to remember for everyone concerned.
Indeed. Yeah, day to remember for you.
Yeah,
I've never seen so many people come up and
I felt like I was supporting the Knights halfway down the street.
Not one.
I can't win anything else, so it was a big day for Newcastle. Haven't had much to cheer for of late.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Not one bloke handed him a 20 rate.
Icon favourite for the Champagne Stakes on the back up from its win in the Fernhill. 420, Faraway Town 460, 650 Obscura. And then the key 5, first of 2 Group 1, Champagne Stakes over the mile. Important scratching here, of course, yesterday morning. Yankee Rose coming out as a dominant favourite at the time. I guess the one key aspect of that, Brass, is that we're getting some value here with...
No speed by Jaws of Steel, who's going to settle out the back, and Prized Icon jump well. So did Elsa Currier, the outside mustering. North Sky away well, settles in third, followed by Pop, who settles just behind the speed. Crown him the outside. Jaws of Steel and Divine Prophet is the last one. Elsa Currier lets us know he's here today. He's 6 lengths clear at the 800 metres from Prized Icon and Crown Hammer, followed by Faraway Town, who's inching closer into fourth on the outside of North Sky, then Pop. Shimbora's creeping close to the outside from Obscura. Then came Jaws of Steel, and last is Divine Prophet. Elsa Currier's really come back to the field on the home turn. He's just the leader from Prized Icon, Crown Him and Faraway Town the outside. Further back to North Sky, Pop going for a run between horses, and then came Jaws of Steel, Prized Icon and Faraway Town. Race to the front, Prized Icon the inside of Faraway Town, then Shimbora and Divine Prophet down the outside. Prized Icon's kicking, Faraway Town's gone. Shimbora's the danger to Prized Icon. Prized Icon clinging to the lead from Shimbora, and Prized Icon, well, the first horse this century to take out the Fernhill Champagne Double. Prized Icon wins it from Shimbora. Divine Prophet third, then Pop and Faraway Town. Jaws of Steel next from Obscura. Crown Him beaten a long margin, so was El Sicario. That's understandable. And North Sky with the blinkers on first up ran last.
Well, out of the shadow of his famous grandfather, J.B. Cummings, James Cummings gets his first Group 1 win here in the Champagne Stakes with Prized Icon. What was Huey Bowman thinking when he had to chase Prized Icon, the horse he could have been on? But
yeah, and that makes Prized Icon a very valuable stallion in the future. A Group 1 winner now, $4 favourite, Glyn Schofield. It was a double yesterday for Glyn and James, and this is a Group 1 win that James will never forget. And it was almost a sliding doors moment with this galloper Prized Icon on the Tuesday. He was about to put him on a float and send him out to the paddock. He had a look at the noms and said, look, this Champagne might be a little bit light on. We'll keep Prized Icon going towards it. And then on the Thursday, or on the Friday, 8, the $1.40 favourite is scratched. Isn't it strange how your fortunes can change in racing?
Well, Matty, it's just, I think, magnifies how such a great trainer young James is, and he believes in his horses. And this horse walked in the mounting yard yesterday, cool, calm, collected, like he didn't run 7 days earlier in the Fernhill. His son are more than ready. And he looks the part too.
He's tough, isn't he? He was placed in the very first Group 1 race, the Breeders, behind Capitalist last year, and for him to come on and win the final Group 1 for a 2-year-old, that shows how tough he is.
Group 1's probably the first Fernhill Champagne Stakes winner, which will sound good on a breeding catalogue one day for this horse, but it's a little bit hollow unless he can go off this hollow Group 1 and establish himself as a serious Group 1 horse. But I don't think he's done it yet. I think the absence of Yankee Rose kind of just opened it up to a field of wannabes.
All you can do is win.
Look, that was exactly the case, I can tell you. And, you know, I think the horse loved it. I think he loved the backup. There hadn't been too many horses this carnival that had backed up to win a big race, you know. Prize Icon was the second behind it as Cordelia, who backed up and won the Queen of the Turf. And every carnival a year goes past where you see a horse do it. So for me, I thought there was an avenue. And yesterday, you know, the race time, when you convert it for the going, you know, that race time was exactly the median of any Champagne Stakes the last 10 years. So, you know, don't let anyone say it was a soft Group 1 win.
And I think over the El Sicario, the New Zealand horse, he just bolted off in front. He was just uncontrollable, so forget he went around. Faraway Town, she travelled 3 deep with no cover, sort of put herself into the race and
had too much to do.
And just couldn't finish it off as well as Prized Icon could, and a couple of the others there.
The Group 1 All-Age Stakes sponsored by Sweps, and Richard, first look, Malaguera handling things better today.
Well, he's very different to what he was at Rose Hill. He seems to be a lot quieter today.
Stakes thanks to Harvey Norman. Shop with confidence online, on your mobile or at your local store. Kermadec, Doncaster.
Well, it's Monday. Malaguera was as much as $8 on Monday, but even this morning, Press Statement was a $3 chance. Malaguera was $4, English was $5, Blackheart Bart $6.50 and Kermadec $7. Well, since this...
Racing, good line out. And Goldstream was one of the first out, but Malaguera is showing good speed. And Malaguera is going to lead from Goldstream in the early part. Perrinon forward. Blackheart Bart's handy. Press Statement caught deep from Rebel Dane. English drops back, and 2 lengths last of all is Kermadec. They're not going overly hard, and we've got a line of 4. Malaguera's on the rails, but the Italian stallion Goldstream puts its head in front now from Malaguera. Perrinon between them, and Press Statement's caught 4 wide, no cover. A length further back to Blackheart Bart, then Rebel Dane from English, and Kermadec's last of all. They're going absolutely no gallop in the All-Age Stakes, and Perrinon in a more forward roll today leads from Goldstream, and Press Statement goes to third now. Malaguera's got a bit of cover onto the circle, followed by Blackheart Bart, then English. Kermadec starting to improve his position around the turn, and Rebel Dane whips them in. Perrinon leads on the turn from Goldstream, and Press Statement looming up strongly. English 4 wide, 5 wide. Kermadec, McDonald sitting quietly. Kermadec and English race to the front together from Press Statement. Malaguera's not in the hunt. It's English in front from Kermadec. English a half to 3/4 on Kermadec. The fillies fighting English from Kermadec. Blackheart Bart late. English in front in the All-Age, and English gets in from Blackheart Bart. Kermadec third, Rebel Dane fourth, then Press Statement, Malaguera, and a good margin to Perrinon, and Goldstream was last.
Well, English has done it for Gay Waterhouse. 18 years in a row at the Autumn Carnival here at Royal Randwick. She's trained at least one Group 1 winner, and her carnival wasn't looking the best. Today, she gets that Group 1. And I think it's 5 All-Age Stakes now for Gay. What a winner. English holds out Black.
Park, that's extra special, isn't it? A Group 1 here today.
Very much so, because she's...
Kermadec third, Rebel Dane.
It was a good win from English. She was a marked betting drifter. $4.60 out to $6.50, I think, was the top flux she hit. Sammy Clipperton, his second Group 1 after claiming the Coolmore a couple of weeks ago. For Gay Waterhouse, it was her 134th Group 1 and her 5th All-Age. But as we said before, I don't think this will go down in the annals of one of the all-time great All-Ages.
Yeah, well, who was going to lead was the key going into the race. We thought that Malaguera might take it up. Press Statement might follow him across. Blake Shin on Malaguera Guerra decided to ease back, take the sit, and then it all sort of turned a little pear-shaped for him. Huey Bowman, we always praise Huey for a wonderful Autumn Carnival in particular he's had this season, but he got it wrong. He was in that situation after going a furlong. What the hell am I doing here? Do I go forward? Do I go back? Bugger it. I'll just sit 3 deep. And it didn't really suit him because he was facing the breeze. Sammy Clipperton took advantage of that. He sat 3 deep with cover, with English. We know she's got that powerful sprint. You trust in what Gay Waterhouse says about her horses. She'll run 7 furlongs. She thinks she'll run a mile, and she ran it out nice and strong. Blackheart Bart, always honest, shooting through with Karen McAvoy. And Kermadec, I've got to say, loomed up like he was going to win with J Mac in the saddle. I thought he was a little disappointing in the run to the wire. Hasn't he?
It's probably disappointing as well. I don't think he's reached the heights that we thought he was going to.
It's funny, Group 1 races, Brad's got the stats too. Like, some just don't hold up. Caulfield Guineas, Golden Rose last year, the form out of them's horrendous.
Daniel O'Sullivan tweeted out something yesterday in relation to the Caulfield Guineas. There's been 55 horses out of the Caulfield Guineas of running black type races since for 3 wins. So it hasn't been the ensuing races since months since the Caulfield Guineas haven't reflected very well upon that race.
You touched on young Sam.
Sit on him and pounce, but I thought he read the play beautifully, Sammy Clipperton, yesterday. He kept in touch. He knew they weren't going hard. He knew she had a good sprint on her, and he used it at the right time. Look, she's probably out on her feet with 20 metres to go, and the old hard-head Blackheart Bart starts to come at him, but the tempo was against him, and she got the job done, and she earned that Group 1 victory this time in. She's been sensational in all the runs back. She's got a bad racing pattern.
Well, you say that it's a bad racing pattern. It's the only one that works for her.
Exactly.
And that's the key to it. I mean, it's widely reported that Richard Kelly, who's one of the managing part owners of the mare, insisted that she be ridden back, which is against Gay's normal pattern of having horses.
Look, she has got speed if you want to use it.
Yeah, of course, but it's not something Gay normally does. But you know, Gay's acceded to that, and it's worked out well for all. So I think it's it's a good effort. There was a good team effort, that one. She's very good. She can reel off those sectionals. Blackheart Bart, as you said, an old hard hit. He's a tough old. Blake Shin, Malaguerra.
He's not one of my best. Made a decision to hand up due to the fact I didn't feel I had the horse to keep vying for the lead, and hindsight was a wrong move.
And Karen McAvoy on Blackheart Bart.
Yeah, just began a little bit sticky, and I had to try and manufacture something from the first furlong. Got into a nice enough spot, but then just couldn't get out of it. The winner had me in a bit of a pocket, and had I been able to get going 100 yards earlier and wind him up, he wins the race. So, unlucky loser today.
Jason Collett, Rebel Dane.
Yeah, the one gate probably ended up being a bit of a curse once. Shouldn't gave up the lead, but he finished it off well.
Hugh Bowman, press statement.
We expected a little bit more of him, I must admit. He felt fantastic mid-race, but he just didn't finish off like the horse we know he is.
All right, what do you make of all that?
Hard to read races like that, but the winner was too good for him on the day. Blackheart Bart, tempo beat him. I thought the run of the race was Kermadec. Looking at the sectional times, he's back last. They've sprinted like you've never, it's charged home there, and his race was run between the 700 and the 200. I thought his effort was absolutely outstanding.
All right, let's.
A fetlock issue as well, a few changes to that metacarpal bone. So
best turned out there for his Marfu, so well done to him. And a quick look at the jockey challenge as well. Joe Moreira 1.45 at the moment. He's got 5 rides still to go, of course. Kate Young, the Golden Girls with C2 Australia, of course. They're very well represented with Chautauqua and Buffering horses 1 and 5, currently 2 points.
Stand by for the Chairman's Sprint Prize. Race 7 starts in, set, and they're off, and Chautauqua was clearly the slowest out of the gates. Mongolian Saturday away quickly with Penophobia. Aero Velocity's charging across. Super Jockey, Not Listening to Me, Strathmore. Lucky Bubbles in behind the pace with Gold Fun. It's a frantic speed up front. Getting back is Amazing Kids with Charles the Great. The Wizard of Oz is third last. A length then to Divine Boy, and 2 lengths away last of all is Chautauqua. He's a dozen lengths from the pace, and the pace is hot with Buffering driving through to lead now with Penophobia. Phobia. Aero Velocity's out 3 wide. Super Jockey, Mongolian Saturday, Not Listening to Me, Strathmore, Lucky Bubbles, Amazing Kids, The Wizard of Oz, followed by Gold Fund, Charles the Great, and now Berry unleashes the champ, Chautauqua to the middle part of the track. Penophobia tackled, buffering with Aero Velocity. Aero Velocity put his head in front from Penophobia. Strathmore, then Not Listening to Me, Lucky Bubbles. Chautauqua is winding up. Aero Velocity joined by Strathmore. Lucky Bubbles. Chautauqua still coming. Going to the lead, Lucky Bubbles. Chautauqua, here he comes. The Thunder down under. Chautauqua race to the lead. What a champion. Chautauqua beat Lucky Bubbles. Third place was a Strathmore in the Chairman Sprint Prize, which is all that it promised to be. Then Mongolian Saturday, Amazing Kids, Gold Fun, Divine Boy, Not Listening to Me, Charles the Great, Penophobia, Aero Velocity, Super Jockey and Buffering. Chautauqua, you are remarkable. Lucky Bubbles, Strathmore, Gold Fun takes fourth. Ahead last start, he went whoosh, boom. He's done the same again today. Gave them all a start and a beating. Chautauqua, what a magnificent racehorse he is. 1:8.69. Still coming, going to the lead, Lucky Bubbles. Chautauqua, here he comes, the Thunder down under. Chautauqua race to the lead. What a champion. Chautauqua beat Lucky.
Goodness me, there you go, there's Tommy Berry, and why wouldn't you be absolutely delighted with that? We're always very privileged to do this job, Jenny, any mundane day of the week, but today it really was a privilege to be here at Charlton to see that.
Absolutely, shivers down your spine with that finish, wasn't it? Absolutely amazing. Congratulations to the connections.
What did we just see? Like, it's I can't believe he did what he did. I've never been in a sprint race where they've gone so quick, so I was confident that he'd run home as quick as he would, but Jesus, to take off that many lengths off some good sprinters. Woohoo!
The race.
From one good carnival to another.
What about this? What about this? This is quite incredible. I'm sure you've seen this over and over again, but it's just astonishing, isn't it, what this horse can do?
And incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible. He gets speared off the track there. That's the worrying point on the point of the turn there.
Now we lose him for 300 metres.
And you would have thought, oh, well, he can't do it. It's impossible for him here, but against this sort of a field.
A lot of speed on. I guess they were getting a little tired in front, which helped him. Otherwise, if they weren't getting tired with that class of horse, well, you can't round them up. But they only had to just get the puffs for 50 metres, and he had them.
He's savage behind that horse. He lays that head right back, doesn't he? He knows. It's like he knows he's in a race and he knows he's got to get there.
You know, the locals up there still won't concede that he's a horse.
Just on Chautauqua, it was revealed after the race that he pulled off the same shoe
twice. That's worrying, you know.
Twice. Down in the saddling, when they're saddling him up, he's pulled it off once, he pulled it off twice, and then you've got to get him out in the track and think, well, what else could go wrong? What would have been going through John Hawkes and Michael and Wayne's minds thinking, well, everything's gone perfect here. They don't win doing that, do they?
No, and then to see him flop out of the barrier again, and then you think, OK, we can put up with that, and then goes to make his move and gets speared off the track.
See, there's a bit of luck involved there too. You know, when a horse pulls a shoe off twice like that, you're lucky they don't pull a big hunk of their foot off with it, you know. And it's just a credit to the horse that he just overcomes things all the time.
And then he just wanted to get off the track, didn't he? He didn't like any of that parade afterwards. He just wanted to go home. He'd had enough. He'd had enough. But he's not going to Royal Ascot now.
Yeah, so that's the decision they've made, and they always seem to make the right decisions on behalf of the horse.
Group 1 mile championship in Japan, so he'd had a similar amount of time off the scene.
And I seem to remember the chat was when he won here in December that no doubt about it, he's coming back here for this big race, so they obviously had this race in mind for quite some time.
Yes, the only thing that went awry was
Kingpins and Morris in close attendance. Then a length away to safety check on the outside of Bow Creek. Gun Pit's got back to a third and fourth last with Secret Weapon going 50 metres. metres to go in the Champions Mile. He's been left alone, Beauty Flame. From Rewarding Hero, Contentment sits quietly with Morris. Secret Weapon, followed by Packing Pins, and then Safety Check. Beauty Only, Bow Creek, Gun Pit. Giant Treasure will have to come from near last with Dundonald. They're in the stretch, and Beauty Flame in front. Rewarding Hero, Contentment. Now Morris strides up. Further back, Safety Check, Packing Pins. It's Beauty Flame still in front. Morris quickly gathering him up. Race to the lead. Contentment now coming through. Morris surged to the front of the Champions Mile. Broke clear from Contentment. Then Safety Check and Packing Pins, but this is brutal force. Morris is far too good in the Champions Mile. Wins at 2.5 to Contentment and Packing Pins. Then Beauty Only and Safety Check, followed by Gun Pit, and then Beauty Flame, Dundonald. From Secret Weapon, Giant Treasure, Rewarding Hero weakened out, beat one home, Bow Creek. 7 in a row for the Japanese superstar, Morris. 9 wins now from 14 for this 5-year-old stallion by Screen Hero. Twice he's visited Hong Kong, twice a winner.
Morris, this Japanese horse. Will we ever get to see him, Duff, over here?
I doubt it. He's too good for us, I'd say. At the time of year, the championships, there's probably better options for him in Japan. I don't know, but...
What a good horse.
He's a beauty.
Japanese horses, apart from the fact that they bought for a long time the best bloodlines in the world and just took them there and kept them there.
Yeah.
They also, their training methods over there, they're applying technology a lot more than in most other places, and it's taken a long time for them to perfect that. But I think the last 5 years, they're ahead technologically.
You'll never see in a high quality race that was, a horse just travels so sweetly, so and be so soft. You'd swear blind it was a 10-to-1 on chance in a maiden, you know, but he's a serious horse.
Just on
those minors when we get them. We've got the Group 2 feature coming up at the Gold Coast. The Holland Stakes is over the 1,800 metres, $350,000 on the line here. How Racky's the favourite, number 2. 3 out to 340 in on-course operation.
Here we go. They stand nicely. Sets. Gates open, racing, and Old North down on the inside. Saki Soldier, How Racky began nicely. Cool Company's going forward. Strawberry Boy and Excess Knowledge on the outside. Strawberry Boy's got the lead from Lee Baz going forward. Cool Company and Excess Knowledge on the outside. And then Saki Soldier, It's Somewhat's out 3 wide. Old North over on the rail there. How Racky is left to go. Strawberry Boy led the way from Honey Toast. They race clear by 4 lengths now from Excess Knowledge and Lee Baz the rail. 1.5 Cool Company, 3 lengths away to Saki Soldier. Old North, It's Somewhat, How Racky, and then Volk Stock and Barrel. Second last, Spirit Jim down the side, and still Pacini back last of all. Strawberry Boy, 600 metres left to go, led narrowly from Honey Toast on the outside. Excess Knowledge, 1.5 away, third, followed by Lee Baz, and then Cool Company. How Racky's creeping into the race on the outside. It's Somewhat the next one, and then coming Old North and Saki Soldier. 350 metres left to go. Honey Toast and Strawberry Boy. Lee Baz the inside. How Racky finishing strongly down the outside, and then Excess Knowledge. Honey Toast. Lee Baz the rail down the outside. How Racky out wide, and Lee Baz and How Racky with 100 metres left to go. Lee Baz and How Racky. Lee Baz in front, and Lee Baz goes back to win the Hollandale by 1.25 to How Racky. Third, Box Stock and Barrel, and fourth, Old North, followed by It's Somewhat, Spirit Jim, and then Honey Toast, a big run. Cool Company, followed by the tiring Strawberry Boy, Excess Knowledge, Pacini, and the last one, Saki Soldier.
Well, when you're hot, you're hot. And the Hawk stable is red hot. Lee Baz, he has got right up on the inside.
Scrimmage early, but then he settled really good behind Strawberry Boy. The other was whipped around and put on all the pressure, and well, he obviously goes really good because he won here last year. But you know,
Here's Lee Baz.
What a beauty. Like you said, he's back-to-back. It looked a much stronger race on paper this year. But, look, he'd run in the Queen Elizabeth along with, you know, the other horses, Haraki and It's Somewhat. They'd come out of our biggest race. And who would think he could just sit behind the lead and away he goes? Look, I'm worried about this, Hauraki.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried about his desire.
Well, you think he's playing games?
Yes, I do. He was absolutely cruising. You wouldn't see a better ride. He's cantered up to them. I thought,
yeah, I thought
here's your moment.
Yeah.
Here's your moment. You haven't won in so long.
And he spat it out.
He says, I don't want the moment.
No.
I'll leave it to the I'll leave it to the tough nut.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
You can stuff your moments in a sack, mister.
Harsh, but fair.
Oh, OK. Lee Baz, I don't think he'd won when he won the Easter Cup, which was out of the, it was his strike back down in Melbourne. I don't think he'd won since he won the Wagga Cup the year before. So he'd been out of the winner's stall for quite some time, and they've got him back in.
Group 1's at Morfordville, 3-year-old fillies in action, 400,000 in stakes for the Schweppes Oaks over the 2,000 metres. Number 6, Silence Edition's the favourite, pretty open race, $4. Number 14 is the second pick, Abbey Marie at $6, and number 2, Arcadia Dream, the cross from the west. The Derby winner is at $9 for William.
They're about to run. There's the light. They're racing. And the favourite Silence Edition was one of the first to leave the gates. Out fast as well was Lopatiga, and the grey flash from the inside. Jackie's Joy was going forward. So also was Sabo Levi. The stablemate Beluga Blue getting into a good spot as well. Bengal Cats on the march forward, now out wide. Believe settles down on the outside of Abbey Marie. Then Comprende around Sacred. It's the 1,000. And Jackie's Joy led the way clearly here. In second spot doing the chasing was Bengal Cat. 2 further back then to Lopatiga. It's on the inside of Sabo Levi. It's stablemate Beluga Blue starting to creep forward around Silence Edition and the grey flash. Then Believe. Abbey Marie next on the inside from Sacred Eye. Pasadena Girl sticking to the inside from Asanara Comprende. Then Arcadia Dream, Riverina Bella, and First Impressions back last of all. They're on the turn in the Schweppes Oaks, and Jackie's Joy's been in front from the word go. Led the way from Bengal Cat. Sabo Levi's going up 3 deep, 4 deep Beluga Blue. Then Silence Edition. Next Lopatiga from the grey flash, and right to the outside Believe with Comprende at the 300 metre mark, and Sabo Levi moved up and ran to the lead now. Sabo Levi led. Silence Edition looking back to the inside of it. Abbey Marie starting to run on. Abbey Marie goes to Sabo Levi. Silence Edition the fence. Abbey Marie and Silence Edition. Abbey Marie in front. What a story. At her third race start, she wins the Group 1 Schweppes Oaks and beats Silence Edition. Sabo Levi third. Fourth, Home Sacred Eye from Beluga Blue. Arcadia Dream and First Impressions ran on late, then Believe. Next was Pasadena Girl from Asanara. Jackie's Joy. Then further back, the grey flash, Comprende, Lopatiga, Riverina Bella, and Bengal.
Abbey Marie.
The one pop, Abbey Marie. She was right in the market, but the reason she was a good price in the end was punters were just wary that a filly could do this at a third start. Over 2,000.
This is a very, very good filly. Mick Kent, he's a master trainer, no doubt about that. You see her back in the field there, looking for a way out. She's coming across heels here. This is a 2,000 metre race, and bearing in mind that Abbey Marie ran in a Sandown Maiden 6 weeks ago, then ran in a Caulfield 3-year-old over 1,400 metres 2 weeks ago, and then steps straight up to Group 1 company, OK, sort of Group 1 company, at the third start in a race.
Group 1 company? Yeah. You can't be sort of Group 1.
Yeah, it's well, there are Group 1s and Group 1s. So this is in the other Group 1 category. And
under the Richard Friedman Book of Rules.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I have a separate set of RF Group 1s.
Oh, OK.
Right? And this hasn't made it there yet, but maybe one day. But I tell you what, a very, very good filly, and to be able to do that's a master effort of training. That's to do that. So I don't want to undermine any of that. That's a wonderful effort there. Luke Nolan rode the winner. He didn't have much luck in the next race.
Can I just point out the second filly, Silent Sedation, in the green?
Yes, Scazozo. Race number 7, second of the Group 1s coming up here at Morfordville. And a nice open race here at $7 for the field. Brass, you're riding with Sabatini, horse number 9, $15 chance.
Yeah, it's again another lottery of a race, isn't it, Marto? But I've always been...
But Tab, very well backed with you bet as well, $11 into 9. As we head to Morfordville, here is your caller, Terry.
Soon have the light. There it is. They're racing in the UBET Classic and wide out on the track. Veselay was fired out from the machine. Also getting out quickly here nearer the inside was Miss Seaton Sands, and driving up as well, showing speed in the early stages here would have been Tempt Me Not. And Scheidel was hunting up from the inside for Miss Promiscuity. Next then was Tuscan Sling from the heavily backed Scarlet Billows. Next Petite Falou. Behind it then was I Love It from Wawale. Then Precious Gem. Further back in the field then as they run towards the turn was Pittsburgh Flyer. Back with it was Tycoon Tara. There's a bad fall here, and going down was Scheidel, was it? I'm not 100% sure, but there was a bad fall there coming up towards the turn where Veselay had the lead. So in fact Scheidel's up there running second. The rider on Miss Promiscuity obviously lost the cloth cap. It was it, the one that went down. Coming to the outside, Tuscan Sling now with Miss Seaton Sands, and further back in the field then to Precious Gem. They run inside the 200 metre mark. Scheidel hit the lead. Tuscan Sling went to it, getting up on the fence. I Love It, and Precious Gem was swamping them out wide. Precious Gem going up to Scheidel. Precious Gem, Scheidel tight. Precious Gem, Scheidel. Grionte's run third. Then I Love It, Tuscan Sling. Next Runway Star from Private Secretary, Butterweir. Then Grionte. Further back then to Tempt Me Not. Behind it then was Sultry Feeling, Miss Seaton Sands. Then further back we had Sabatini with Tycoon Tara, Don't Doubt Mama. Then Wawale, Scarlet Billows. Last to pull up Pittsburgh Flyer, and it was Tempt Me Not. I think you'll find who lost the rider. So 4 gets it, Precious Gem. 4 gets it, Precious Gem on the outside. Jake Noonan for Henry Dwyer in a race where that mid-race incident certainly was a massive distraction, as was the riderless horse up the home straight. But 4 has won.
Precious Gem will play you some excited connections after this, jockey and trainer. This was the race where Luke Nolan fell. He came down. In fact, Terry McAuliffe said it might have been Scheidel that fell. They were in same colours, different caps.
Yeah.
But we picked them up coming around the home turn.
Yeah, she's Precious Gem. You could see her back there in the field starting to work to the outside there. And if you watch behind too, you'll pick up Runway Star even further back, getting into more trouble. But I don't want to talk about too much outside of Precious Gem. It was an excellent effort here. The fall didn't really affect the race too greatly. I mean, the riderless horse in front there was a nuisance, but I don't think it affected anything's chances here. And this is a very good effort from trainer Henry Dwyer and young Jake Noonan on board here.
Good on him.
Teaming up here, and they're a young team getting a Group 1 race here with this mare. She's worth a lot of money now, so well done to them. It's well placed there. As I said, Grionte ran well, came in behind there, sort of a little bit of a checkered run, but you know, with a bit of weight there. But she was very good, Grionte, and we know how good she is. And Runway Star, I thought, was the other one in the race. Miss Promiscuity was the one that Luke Nolan fell from, and.
Japanese, but now $3.50. That money is coming now. Maxi, we'll get your late mail numbers.
Yeah, he's firm right in, hasn't he, Caroline? $4.20 into $3.50. Japanese coming off that win that Chris spoke about. What about the horse that finished just behind them, Gasoni? She still hasn't seen the light today, so got the right jockey on. He's not a bustling rider, Michael Cowley. Let him come out.
Group 1 BTC Cup. Tony Brassel, Japanese, Glyn Schofield, Chris Waller. $6 into $3.30 tab fixed. It's also been good money for Dothraki. Blake Shin, Team Snowden, inside gate, opened at 6.
Now Art Lee, they're backing Art Lee out. Favourite Japanisma, all clear from the back. Stand by. We're right to go. Starter looking down the line. 1 or 2 distancing about. We're sets. Gates open racing, and Japanisma got away nicely. Likewise going forward, 2 Blue. Handy is Dothraki, and going up there on the outside is Malaguera. It's Malaguera and 2 Blue, the first couple here from Dothraki, who's third. Fourth placing is Echo Gal, and Fell Swoop going to 5th on the outside. Japanisma, Liberation, Charlie Boy, Sacred Star, Art Lee, Stratum Star, Target inside, and the last one, Delectation, the best part of 12 lengths off the speedy 2 Blue down the side. 2 Blue by 4 lengths here from Malaguera. Meliguera. Echo Gal and going to fourth on the outside. Down the side is Fell Swoop. He's been wide. A length and a half to Dothraki and Japanisma, followed by Liberation, Charlie Boy, and then Sacred Star and Stratum Star, and Art Lee's back third last. Two Blue, 400 metres left to go, led by a neat length here from on the outside, Meliguera. Echo Gal going to third. Fell Swoopers work. Dothraki's coming through, and Japanisma down the outside. Two Blue, Meliguera. Dothraki on the outside. Two Blue, Meliguera, Dothraki, Fell Swoop, and Japanisma down the outside. Dothraki's taken the lead narrowly from Meliguera, Japanisma. Meliguera coming back at Dothraki. Dothraki, Meliguera. I think Meliguera kicked back to win from Dothraki. Not sure third. Fell Swoop's up there with Japanisma. Target in sight. There's a riderless horse over the line as well. And then two Blue, Delectation, Sacred Star, Stratum Star, Liberation. Echo Gal ran second last. Charlie Boy last. And I think it's Art Lee that might have dumped the rider going over the line. And that is Michael Carl on the track about 100 metres past the line.
Joey Price. Well, you can see there in that as they stop there with Delectation, their head right up in the air. So a bit of drama there with Michael Carl taking a tumble. But the winner, well, is it Meliguera on the inside? It looks to me.
Walks forward and it'll complete the...
Yeah, the ambulance has had a little bit of treatment on the track, but great to see Michael Carl after coming off Art Lee just after the post there, after the BTC Cup.
Forgotten horse of this race. So many people wanted to jump off after he was so well considered in his last run in Sydney.
I think most people would have thought, oh, it's just a warm-up run for the Stradbroke. He didn't, although he wasn't well ridden last time in Sydney. I thought, did he tick that weight for age box? And Lee would have just taken him up there, typical, just ease off him, let him settle in, get him 100% right for the Stradbroke back under handicap conditions. But we didn't take into account this horse's tremendous will to win, which he has got, and his record says that. He's a little ugly duckling, but what he lacks in looks, he makes up for in heart. There's no doubt about that.
Dothraki definitely headed.
Yes,
he had him beaten, Dothraki, because he'd had a slightly softer run behind him. He had to work a little bit on Meliguera to get to the spot he was, but and Dothraki had him. It would have been interesting there. Blake Shin rode Meliguera in his last start, and by his own admission said it wasn't his best ride, and then he's on Dothraki, and it would have been, sort of like sweet revenge on Meliguera, but as it was, Glenn had him in a beautiful spot, and as you said, the horse tries hard.
Awful squeeze.
Yes, here too, Blue.
She was brave.
She let him run along. They had to chase her.
Look, it looked ugly on paper for this favourite, Fell Swoop, or he didn't start favourite, and that's how it ended up as well. He's three deep, no cover, chasing a speed like this. He was beaten at 1.2 or something. I still think there's merit in that performance, although that is a gut buster. That's what you call a gut buster run. He's under pressure here, and he still lifts going to the line. So
watch Delectation in the yellow sleeves in the back there.
I'm sick of watching him do this. He sucked me in so many times, Delectations. Art Lee was okay. He's just crying out to get back to a handicap. Target and Sight battled on okay. It's a good race, but a hard race to assess. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Look at Target and Sight's running on, and not much room for Art Lee. Art Lee back at Eagle Farm, streaming down the outside with no weight on his back. That's a tough one until we see the handicaps for the Stradbroke. We've got a good one coming up.
There was a little bit of head-on vision there. I'm not sure if we've got it here. There, you could just see
the tightening.
Michael Carl have the fall.
Yeah.
Well, this is our feature race today. Group 1, UBET, South Australian Derby, over 2,500 metres. And, Tim, we've got a big line-up here, 16 to face the starter, including 3 fillies this year.
Yeah, exactly right, Matt. All right, we thank Greg Miles. This is the feature of the afternoon. Tony Brassel, the South Australian Derby. There's only 3 in single figures for this 7th race. Charlevoix, the favourite earlier on today, a bet of $12,000 at $3.60, tab.com.au fixed. 12 last.
Horses Sub-Zero and Mummify. Lights on. They're racing in the Derby. And one of the first to leave the gates here was Tarquin Williams, nice and positive out of the gate with it. And going forward was the stablemate Etymology as well. Marladin and Royal Rumble are both going to be handy, and pushing up on the inside of that pair at the judge as well now would have been Sacred Eye. Bullish Stocks pushing up there as well to be in that lead group. Sacred Eye's now tucked in behind it. Then Ascot Red. Howard Be Thy Name was next. Then the West Aussies. First impressions the inside. Arcadia Dream Deeper. Dropped was with that pair. Charlevoix Bar's gone well. He whizzed around the outside and went to the top now. So it's one of the fillies in front. Arcadia Dream leading the way from in second spot Tarquin. Going up deeper Manhattan Boss. Tough Bicky was next from Etymology. Then back on the inside was Bullish Stock. Next was Howard Be Thy Name from Royal Rumble. Sacred Eye saving ground on the fence. Drop was next. Charlevoix starting to creep into it now. First impressions back on the fence. Then Mail It In. Cool Chaps well back with Wrong Door Reggie. And Dropped in fact has dropped out now last of all. They're running up to the turn. And Manhattan Boss and Tarquin, they've regained the lead, that pair. They've taken it up from Arcadia Dream. Etymology wider with Howard Be Thy Name. Charlevoix trying to wind up. Cool Chaps coming deep as well. And then Ascot Red Royal Rumble. In the home straight, Manhattan Boss, Tarquin, Etymology. Howard Be Thy Name joins in, and Cool Chaps the widest runner. Charlevoix's got a fair bit to do inside the 200-metre mark. Howard Be Thy Name took the lead. Cool Chaps coming after it. Still there, Etymology. Howard Be Thy Name and Etymology. Howard Be Thy Name for the Irishman, John Allen. Coming back in at Etymology, but Howard Be Thy Name. What a thrill for Johnny Allen. He's won a Group 1. It's another one for Weary. Howard Be Thy Name beats Etymology. Then Cool Chap. Next to finish was Ascot Red from Charlevoix. Then Mail It In. Behind it, Manhattan Boss. Next to finish, Wrong Door Reggie from First Impressions. Then Bullish Stock dropped. Sacred Eye was well back. So also well back in the field was Tarquin and Tough Bicky.
Howard Be Thy Name has won the Derby, ridden by John Allen. What a fantastic story, and trained by the all-conquering Darren Weir. Howard Be Thy Name, he was the informed 3-year-old in the race. He'd won his last 3 going into it, and he's made it 4 by picking up the Group 1 today. He's improved down, and see, I'm not sure if Darren's here. John Allen's getting a very, very good reception. There's a lot of owners here, and this is quite a story. John Allen with the jumps background, riding.
Look, this horse, I've been really, I've been a little bit excited about him. Howard Be Thy Name. You see him there, he just starts to chime in on the outside. That's Etymology inside him in Godolphin's colours with the white cap. And Etymology was pretty brave too, but this horse now, it's won his last 3 Howard Be Thy Name at Morfettville. He's come through the Guineas, and then he went to the Chairman's, and then he's come out in the Derby there. I think he's a really promising stayer. He's by Redout's Choice. He's got a bit of blood to him. He's only had 11 runs for 5 wins, 3 seconds and 3 thirds, so he's never been out of a place, and he just keeps fighting on like this. The story out of the race, though, is his job. Yeah. Apart from Darren's great effort, and we talk a lot about Darren Weir, he's winning everywhere, and you know, rightly so, he's a very, very good trainer. But, you know, John Allen, the Irish jockey here, at the Warrnambool Carnival, he rode 4 jumps winners. Yeah. And then he comes out and rides a Group 1 Derby winner. And, you know,
I can't recall it ever happening before. No,
isn't it wonderful to see a bloke with that sort of horsemanship skill?
Blackheart Bart, I tell you what, if you want a horse that's got fantastic form reference, Blackheart Bart gets beaten by the quarterback, beats Chautauqua. We all know how good Chautauqua is, but then comes out and runs second to English in the all-age, and then Malaguera out of that race comes out and wins a Group 1 in Brisbane.
For sure, it's the best sprinting form.
6:15 and 14 across the line there at Flemington. We are heading to Morfettville for the Darley Goodwood, and your favourite has been Blackheart Bart. It's been favourite all the way through, Tony, and it just has that brilliant...
So they are just about ready. There's the light. They're racing in the Goodwood, and Flamberge, last year's winner, began well. Scheidel was out quickly as well. Fatanar was showing speed with Miss Promiscuity. Sir Bible was going forward. Cash nearer the inside was pushing up into a good spot as well. With it was Admiral. Deeper out was Nostradamus. Further back in the field then the favourite Blackheart Bart. It's on the inside of its stablemate Saboog. Churchill Dancer was next. Further back then to Under the Louvre. It's got well back with Fast and Rocking. Then back on the inside the quarterback from Big Money. And Smokin' Joey last, and Super One's up there now in search of the lead and found it. So Super One in front. The Freedman stable looking for a 2-stake Group 1 double. Leads the way from Flamberge in second spot. Third as we're about to turn for home was Scheidel. Back near the inside, Cash for Miss Promiscuity. Fatnar deeper out. Sapito's in that group as well. Blackheart Bart's looking for runs with Saboog. Super One kicked away at the 300-metre mark. Super One in front. Flamberge, Fatnar, and getting through now. Blackheart Bart. Sapito was deeper out. Blackheart Bart. Sapito out wide. Blackheart Bart Sapito, the two favourites under the loop late. Blackheart Bart in front though. Where does it? Blackheart Bart wins. Beats either under the loop or Sapito. The favourites have dominated. Fast and Rocking fourth. Next to finish, Fatanar from Big Money. Then Miss Promiscuity. The quarterback, Saboog, Nostradamus. Next to finish was Shidell in front of Miss Promiscuity. Super One, they ran over it late, then cashed. Admiral well back. So was the quarterback with Sir Bible and Churchill Dancer.
The favourites won the Goodwood. Blackheart Bart. They backed him here today like he was unbeatable, and he's come through. It's been a great day for the Weir stable already, and here's another one for them. That's look, he's won by a length in the end. In a big race like this, that's a dominant win.
Yeah, well back too, Matt. I mean, I think everyone was backing it around Australia, especially in the last hour. There just money just kept coming for it, and
he was $3.80 into $2.70, and then I think he went back to $2.80 in the last little bit. That's here on track, but you're right. Punters all across Australia have backed him. I'm sure all the West Australians have, where he's originally from, of course. But these days, Darren Weir has got him. Just looking around the mounting yard here. Darren is here today. We've already had a chat with him once or twice on Darren Weir's horse. How would be thy name? That was looked after by John Allen in terrific fashion, but Brad's back on for a Group 1 victory here this afternoon.
Today at Morfordville, great field, big field as it always is, and this ex-WA horse, Blackheart Bart Richard, he's heading to the Stradbroke, and he's got a Group 1 on the way.
There was good pace in the race when Super One, he missed the kick slightly, Super One, but he went straight to the lead there, and he led them along at a decent pace there. Gave things a chance to get out. Now, Blackheart Bart's back on the fence there in the blue cap, yellow colours, and his stablemate Saboog sort of missed the run, and Blackheart Bart got it, and he just, it was a beautiful ride, I have to say. The horse was, there were a couple of horses, look, without that good ride, he might have been beaten here, because on the outside there, under the Louvre, who always does this, had a bit of a checkered run, and, with a clearer run, and if Blackheart Bart hadn't had such a beautiful run, might have nailed him. But you've got to give credit to this horse. Darren Weir's only had him for 4 starts, for 2 wins and 2 seconds, and they've all been in the highest grade. So the horse is absolutely flying, and why couldn't he go to Queensland and run a really big race? The 1,400 metres will suit him down to the ground, so I think he's a live chance if he goes up there for sure. Under the Louvre, what do you say about him? He's
under the Louvre.
He's just always he's under the Louvre. That's about.
Look, this horse was a good horse before Darren Weir got him. He was a very good horse.
Yes, he was. Darren Weir says distance don't matter to him.
No, he's a very versatile horse, and he has got desire to win. He's an absolute beauty. I don't think this was the best part of the track he was in either, but he saved ground, and an aggressive ride gets him home. That's Sapito. She's a beauty. He's a beauty. He's done a really good job this preparation.
Big Money ran well there.
Yep,
he did.
Out the back.
He did.
A few good runs behind, but there was good pace. They should have got home from the back.
Every second week,
Doomben Cup, the time-honoured Doomben Cup, and Hauraki is the favourite at $3.20 for Godolphin. He loomed at the Gold Coast. He also loomed that day at Rose Hill in the...
Back one, Hauraki. Light is on. Here we go. Gates open, racing, and Hauraki down on the inside got away okay. Lee Baz began best of all. Massini's going forward. Massini's got the lead now. Going forward is Volkstock and Barrel Noble Protector. It's somewhat out very deep there. And then Spirit Jim, 3 lengths away then to our Ivanhoe on the inside of Lady LaFay. And Morris is last of all, about 3 lengths behind the second last horse. So Massini's got the lead for Noble Protector. Volkstock and Barrel third. It's somewhat fourth out 3 wide. Hauraki fifth over on the inside there, followed by Lee Baz, and then Spirit Jim, who's fourth last on the outside of our Ivanhoe. A length and a half away to Lady Laraki. Lee Baz on the outside. A break of 2.5 lengths away to our Ivanhoe, followed by Lady LaFay. And the last one is Morris, about 9 lengths off Massini. On the outside, Spirit Jim's up running second now. Noble Protector back to third. Volkstock and Barrel is fourth. Half a length away to It's Somewhat fifth on the outside. Hauraki is next there, followed by Lee Baz. A length away then to our
Ivanhoe, Lady LaFay, and still Morris is last of all. Down the side they head. It's Massini by half a length here from Spirit Jim. 600 metres left to go. Going forward on the outside as It's Somewhat strides up to go to third. Volkstock and Barrel Noble Protector. Hauraki on the outside, then Lee Baz and Morris taking off. Second last is our Ivanhoe, and Lady LaFay dropped out last of all. Homeward bound, 350 metres left to go. Massini, Spirit Jim, Volkstock and Barrel coming through. Here's Morris down the outside with Hauraki. Morris out wide from Hauraki at the 200 metre mark, and then Volkstock and Barrel. Morris, Hauraki down the outside late is our Ivanhoe. Volkstock and Barrel, It's Somewhat back narrow the inside. Hauraki, our Ivanhoe over the top. Our Ivanhoe's won the Doomben Cup from Hauraki, not sure third. It's Somewhat's up there with Volkstock and Barrel. Lady LaFay, Morris ran out of his skin. Then Spirit Jim, Massini, followed by Lee Baz, and the last one home was Noble Protector.
Our Ivanhoe. What a training performance by Lee and Anthony Freedman. And they've got another Group 1, 2 Group 1s down in Brisbane, and they're both to the Freedman camp. Malaguera last week in the BDC Cup. This week in the Doomben Cup, the Freedmans are turning back the hands of time.
Wow, they're no mugs. Everyone was saying what
you saw in the mounting yard when our Ivanhoe walked past you.
Well, I saw the big flat feet on him, and he had the Equilox all over his front feet. It must have been a kilo of the Equilox. Whole feet. I don't know, but I've never seen anything. They were like surfboards on his feet. But obviously, he'd been nursed back to health. It's been well documented. He's got terrible feet.
A lot of those European horses, like him, the way you have to train them in Australia and the way they have to race here and the tracks they have to race on, they start to, in a way, break down. They start to wear down, you know. And if our Ivanhoe, he came here from Germany with nothing, never carried any gear, just wore a bridle. That's it. He's now got blinkers on, he wears bandages, he's got heaps of hoof filler, and he's wearing a tongue tie as well. I know they hate doing this, having to add gear and tweak things and add things, but, you know, when you get these horses that are just struggling to keep up with the Australian way, you have to keep tweaking things to get them to work. And they've beached him and all those tricks that they've got, they used them all on him.
Well, let's go to the replay. Here's our Ivanhoe. He left Sydney.
Appears behind him, where our Ivanhoe can slip out from inside Leebaz there and get to the outside. So Morris, in a way, helped our Ivanhoe enormously there. Look, he's a dual Group 1 winner in Germany, our Ivanhoe. He ran third in the Caulfield Cup. He probably should have run top 4 in a Melbourne Cup if he hadn't hit the running rail, been flattened in the straight. He's run 4th in a slowly run Australian Cup. It's a pretty classy horse. Just had to get the right run and get right.
Oh, look, he's obviously a lot's expected of him. They paid a lot of money for him, didn't they?
Did.
I don't even know if they'd be square yet.
Probably not.
No, but anyway, he looked, well, as we say, dead and buried, but he's back.
There's a quote in the paper from James.
And 6.20 on UBet, but all the rage here is Souchet. Now, Sacred Elixir is about to go. So the last to come up is Royal Tie. And the field right to go for the Group 2 sires. Gate 2 for Souchet. All the rage here. Racing. Oh, he's missed it. Souchet has come out last. Nikitas, Kandika both began nicely. Attention's going forward. Dreams of Plenty on the outside. Meet and Greet is handy, followed by Souchet. He's up to about 6th over on the rail there. Crack Me Up in the middle. And Royal Tie going forward. Zen Day, Oink and Earth on the outside from Sacred Elixir. And Cadoga's gone back to last of all, about 10 lengths off the speed. It's Dreams of Plenty, the leader from Attention on the outside. Going to third, Royal Tie. And then Nikitas and Meet and Greet, followed by Crack Me Up, Kandika, and then Souchet on the outside, about 7 lengths off the speed. Zen Day, Oink, followed by Earth out 3 wide, and then Sacred Elixir and Cadogan last of all. 600 metres left to go, and the leader Dreams of Plenty from Attention, and then we've got Meet and Greet. Royal Tie's been wide, Nikitas the next one. Souchet's going forward on the outside. He's still 4 lengths off the leader. Crack Me Up and Kandika and Earth on the outside from Oink and Cadogan. 350 metres left to go, and quickly Attention moves up on the outside of Dreams of Plenty. Nikitas about a length and a half away. Souchet on the outside, then Meet and Greet. Attention narrowly. Dreams of Plenty won't go away. Nikitas, Souchet on the outside. It's Attention narrowly. Souchet down the outside. Dreams of Plenty on the rail. Attention just in front of Dreams of Plenty, and Attention's won the sires by a neck on the line to Dreams of Plenty. Fido third. Nikitas up there. Kandika and Sacred Elixir flashed home. Souchet bonded at the kick, followed by
meet and greet, and then we
What a wonderful season the Snowdens have had with their 2-year-olds, and they win the Group 2 Size Produce Stakes here with number 3, Attention, in the capital.
Slowly hooked away, best of all. Going forward, Dothraki and 2 Blue on the outside. Fell Swoopers fourth, a couple lengths away to Music Magnate on the outside of Charlie Boy. 4 lengths away then to Scarlet Billows, and then Delectation. Going back to last of all is Ascadelia. She's the best part of 10 to 12 lengths off 2 Blue. 950 metres left to go. Fell Swoop kicks up on the inside. He's running second, followed by Hooked on the outside, and they race right away. They're 6 lengths in front now from Dothraki. Music Magnate, a length and a half to Charlie Boy, followed by Scarlet Billows on the outside of Delectation, and Ascadelia, she's last of all, 12 lengths off this frantic speed. 600 metres left to go, and Hooked on the outside's got the lead now from 2 Blue. Fell Swoop third. They're out by 6 lengths still from Music Magnate. Dothraki, Charlie Boy's under pressure. Ascadelia on the outside. Delectation second last, and Scarlet Billows dropped out homeward bound. 350 metres left to go, and Fell Swoop has taken a slender lead from Hooked on the outside. Music Magnate, and here's Ascadelia down the outside. Fell Swoop, Music Magnate, Dothraki coming through. Ascadelia down the outside. Music Magnate's taken the lead with 100 metres left to go. Music Magnate's in front, and Music Magnate wins the Doomben 10,000. Music Magnate from a photo. Ascadelia out wide. Charlie Boy flashlight the inside. Delectation fourth in. Fell Swoop tied. Likewise Dothraki, followed by Hook, Scarlet Billows, and 2 Blue was last of all.
Well, Music Magnate has won the Doomben 10,000 to give Bjorn Baker a Group 1 success for Bjorn Baker, who's having the season of his career.
That's right, only a 0.2.
In the Sunshine State, he won the Magic Millions with unencumbered, and up until today, that was his biggest success. But here comes Bjorn Baker now, who's won his maiden Group 8.
I probably won't make it on the couch tomorrow, sorry. Might have a few too many.
You've got a good excuse.
Well, Ron was my only mate. He's the only one that picked it in the first 4.
How are you feeling at the moment? It was a big career move for you to go out on your own, and here you are with a Magic Millions winner and a 10,000 winner.
Yeah, it's super. I guess Queensland's been very kind to me, and I've got a great...
Next week for the Oaks and the grand reopening of the new track. 2 Blues in front, Fell Swoop behind and about to edge off the rails and put Hooked 3 deep, and this is where it got messy.
This is where it got messy. I think when Fell Swoop come off the rail, at the time Hook says, I'm going to just slide up outside the lead, that's when it became game on here, and they just went out at warp speed. And although you had to be on the speed in close, so this was a whole different situation altogether. Music Magnate just bided his time, he stalked, and he come with momentum out wide here. I thought Ascadelia's Stradbroke chances were done no harm here. Her run was an absolute beauty. She's on a hard track. She had the bias against, and I thought she did enough to hold probably Stradbroke favouritism. Charlie Boy battles on. I thought Delectation was going to win when he was going to burst through the middle there, but he can do that. He has his moments, Delectation. But obviously excuses for a lot of those on-pace runners, considering the circumstances. But all honours with the winner. He's third up. He was presented beautifully. Bjorn's got the timing perfect to peak him for this carnival, and he's already got a Group 1 on the board. And who's to say that he won't run well in the Stradbroke as well?
Just for people who weren't watching that race meeting, by that time, which was race 7, that there'd been a well-established pattern that horses close to the fence and horses up on the pace appeared to have a big advantage. For Ascadelia to come out in the middle of the track where nothing had really made much ground until that point and get home like that, I thought it was an excellent run, given that she was off the back of a bit of a break there as well, and she likes a soft track and she didn't get one. So that was great. I mean, Bjorn just had that horse in the right spot at the right time. I watched Fell Swoop. He's a beauty.
We're going to be talking about this market quite a bit because there's a few more races we have to show you that has a bearing on this, but Ascadelia still the favourite. We'll get to Gassani in a moment. We won't talk about her at the moment, but on that page there, what stands out for you?
Oh, look, it's looking really, really healthy, this race. There's no doubt about it. Blackheart Bart, he's coming on.
Doesn't it? Winter time in Brisbane, there's nowhere else you'd rather be. The weather's spectacular and the racing's even better.
This is the Derby, race number 8.
And they're all locked away. Stand by.
Gates open, racing in the Derby.
Eagle Way's in front, Rodrigo the inside, Eagle Way's in front, Rodrigo won't get Eagle Way, and Eagle Way, Tommy Berry wins the Derby.
Eagle Way, Tommy Berry, what a ride. Here he is with Bernie.
Oh, Tommy, just swoop in for a bit of Group 1 glory here today. Well done.
It's great to be home, but well, this bloke, he's had the perfect lead-up runs. You know, he's just an out-and-out star. You know, I'm just so happy to be home, so happy to be back in action here and back with the family.
How's that feel?
Woo!
What a moment for you, Brian, and the family. Katie's here, Daniel, Kerry, the whole family.
Mate, this is unbelievable, you know, to win this race for us and a Queensland horse to win it, you know, well, I'd say a Queensland horse, he's been trained here for a while now. To win this, it's a great thrill for Queensland racing.
Your dad won 3 derbies on this track and 3 Stradbrokes, so it's a special day.
It's a special day because we're Queenslanders in and out. Dad's a Mackay boy. And to come to Queensland and win a major Group 1 is really something.
Great moment. You've won some great races in Hong Kong, but to do it here in Queensland, that must be an extra special thrill.
It's very, very special, and I'm thinking of Dad right now.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Wide, the Kiwis raced up. Benzini, Sir John Hawkwood. Benzini's in front, and Benzini's won the Brisbane Cup.
What a thrill.
Yeah, it's a huge thrill. We only have about 7 and work back at home with farmers by trade. Rosie's been up riding him all week and she rode him perfect. He's an awesome horse to train. You know, travelled over, ate well, drunk well, and always tries his guts out.
Well done, Harry.
Sacred Elixir, the Kiwis in front, and Sacred Elixir sparing away with the Atkins. It's all Sacred Elixir, and Sacred Elixir bolts home by 4 lengths.
He's a beauty.
That is as dominant a display as you'll ever see in a JJ Atkins. Tone, I think we saw a very, very good horse here today. Not many horses win JJs like that.
No, look, we've always thought he's an extremely promising horse. Obviously, you know, being a 2-year-old and probably wanting to get over a trip further, we haven't had the chance to really get him past 1400 at this stage. And JJ Atkins was the perfect race for him. You know, big track at a mile after his last 2 runs here in Brisbane.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tone.
Provocative has taken the lead. Ambience on the outside. Provocative from Ambience and Falkenberg. Provocative's in front with 100 metres left to go. She's kicked clear. She's 2 lengths in front, Provocative. And it's the Kiwis again, Provocative. Provocative has won the Oaks by 3 lengths.
Tony Pike has done it again. He has trained a Group 1 double on Stradbroke Day. Sacred Elixir took the JJ Atkins, and now Provocative wins the Oaks. Tony Pike, have you had a better day?
Oh, no, this would definitely have to probably top it, I'd say. You know, 2 Group 1s in Australia, and even the old horse, he's run a bottler for 5th in the Stradbroke, so been a super day.
The Kiwis love Brisbane.
Yeah, it's been a great carnival this year, and you know, even Benzini, it was great to see him win the Cup for the Kiwis as well. Great day for us back home.
Well done, your filly's coming back.
Thank you.
The Brisbane Racing Carnival is special to me, particularly because it's in my hometown. We love the competition that the Southerners and the Kiwis bring.
Well, it's great to have them here, the Southerners, and it's an onslaught, isn't it? They come up here and take on the best of the locals, the best of our horses, trainers and jockeys, and we welcome them with open arms. It's great to have them here in Queensland.
Queensland's great race. The Amy Stradbroke handicap set now. They're racing in the Stradbroke.
Under the Louvre, Blackheart Bart, under the Louvre, Blackheart Bart. They hit the line on the Stradbroke, and under the Louvre, I think's won. Under the Louvre, just
Stradbroke. Under handicap set now. They're racing in the Stradbroke.
Under the Louvre, Blackheart Bart, under the Louvre, Blackheart Bart. They hit the line on the Stradbroke, and under the Louvre, I think's won. Under the Louvre, just
Stradbroke.
Under the Louvre, Blackheart Bart, under the Louvre, Blackheart Bart. They hit the line on the Stradbroke, and under the Louvre, I think's won. Under the Louvre, just from Blackheart Bart.
Under the Louvre. Under the Louvre has won the Stradbroke, has beaten Blackheart Bart.
The signature race here in Queensland, the Straddy.
Oh, it's great to be back here at Eagle Farm. It's racing really well. He's a great horse. He deserves to win his Group 1, and I think these owners will be over the moon.
Well done, Rob. Congratulations. Where does this sit in your career?
Oh, look, huge. I mean, Stradbroke's Queensland's signature race, and it's a race that wherever you are at any time that day, you always find a place to watch the Stradbroke. It's a big name, and yeah, really, really big thrill.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Rob. Our final Group 1 of the racing season, the Sky Racing Tattersalls Club Tiara, 1400 metres.
Set to go. racing in the Tattersalls Tiara. It's Miss Covergirl and Sultry Feeling. That pair have taken the lead together. On the outside, Miss Covergirl, she's in front. The Queenslander lifting late as Ascadelia, but Miss Covergirl's in front, and Miss Covergirl, the Queenslander. Miss Covergirl's won from Ascadelia.
Miss Covergirl, Kelly Sweet.
Tattersalls Tiara. It's Miss Covergirl and Sultry Feeling. That pair have taken the lead together. On the outside, Miss Covergirl, she's in front. The Queenslander lifting late as Ascadelia, but Miss Covergirl's in front, and Miss Covergirl, the Queenslander. Miss Covergirl's won from Ascadelia.
Miss Covergirl, Kelly Sweet has done it again. He won it with Nova Star, and he's done it here with Miss Covergirl, and Damien Brown win the final Group 1 of the season.
Today she was able to get into a good spot. Everything just fell into place and she showed what she can do. That was good for him and the team.
Enjoy the win.
Thanks.
Good on you. Hayley Nichols is here. I can't believe Kelly Sweeter isn't here, but he's gone back to Rocky. You're the foreman.
Yeah.
What a big win.
Oh, unreal. She's my favourite horse. It's amazing to end it like this, yeah.
Good on you, Kelly.
Get into a good spot. Everything just fell into place and she showed what she can do. That was good for him and the team.
Enjoy the win.
Thanks.
Good on you. Hayley Nichols is here. I can't believe Kelly Sweeter isn't here, but he's gone back to Rocky. You're the foreman.
Yeah.
What a big win.
Oh, unreal. She's my favourite horse. It's amazing to end it like this, yeah.
Good on you, Kelly. I know this will mean a lot to the stable.
Yes, it's unreal. Unreal.
Well done.